What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, basketball analysis. Coming to y'all with that analysis for Sunday. Another week has come to an end. Another week has started. And we're going to talk about another rumor that people want my 2 cents on. So I got y'all today. We're going to talk about Freddie VanVleet possibly leaving the nest to earn more capital and raise his stake as one of the best point guards in the NBA. And the best way to do that is go to a team like New York, put up numbers, help them win in the Eastern Conference. But not only that, you give them something they don't hate. They don't have. They don't have the 3-point shooting ability. They need floor spacing on this team. Not only that, they need somebody that can actually run the point and get people in their spots. And Fred VanVleet has always been unselfish. He's aggressive when he needs to, but he's also a guy that likes to set up, play within the system, and that's what the Knicks are looking for. One of the biggest things I always hear that people might not understand is if you want him to leave, you're going to have to break that bank a little bit, and that's where a lot of people are conflicted. And that's where I step in right now and tell you what I think. Fred VanVleet is definitely a 16 to 19 million dollar player just because of his solid defense at the point guard position. One of the biggest things about Fred VanVleet is that they run 2 point guards sometimes in the system that Dwayne Casey and Nick Nurse had. Now, if you have him stationary as a point guard, he's not going to really be a mismatch problem unless they switch him on somebody else, and that'll be the offense player putting him on the bigger guy defensively. Other than that, he can play any point guard straight up, and he can hold his own on the offensive end pretty much well. And, it's going to be a lot tougher than Toronto because the talent and the spacing isn't there currently. So it's going to be a lot tougher for him to get quality shots until the team improve, which will be a big improvement getting a guy like Fred VanVleet there. The Knicks always show that they're not afraid to pay people, and they're looking for somebody to be a building block. They got a nice pick this year. They got R.J. Barrett last year, but they have a lot of young, experienced guys that don't know how to win. Fred VanVleet went to the NBA Finals. He played on the number 2 team this year too, and really did a very good job for what he is. And I don't think Fred VanVleet is trying to be something that he's not. I don't think Fred VanVleet will do that even in New York. And he is a guy that is coachable. And that's what you want, especially around young talent. And people forget, Fred VanVleet look a little older. He's not that old. He's still in his mid-20s. So he can sign a 3-4 year deal and still be young after the deal. But not only that, he can still relate and help motivate and inspire a team like this who need an offensive punch and need somebody that can give them spacing that they don't have and haven't had in years. And on top of that, Alfred Payton and some other guys didn't look that bad on this team. Just imagine having a guy like VanVleet on this team. They will probably be a 25-30 win team, which is better than what they've been. And a lot of Knicks fans would take that because if you get VanVleet, you have one piece. You will need 2 other pieces to make this a real competitive team. Plus, as a person that doesn't really follow the Knicks that much, the Knicks been off for months. They have had plenty of time to develop their young players. We've seen how well the bubble went and how so many players worked on their body and their game, and it showed in the bubble and in the playoffs. The Knicks been off so long that you should see improvement, if anything, because you have nowhere to go, nothing to do in COVID-19 time. Plus, you still off because you didn't make it to the playoffs and didn't even play in the bubble. These guys should be bigger. They should be stronger, and they should be able to have different aspects of their games develop. But do I really see VanVleet going into a team like the Knicks? No, because you're going to a rebuild. This team is so far away, so far away from being anything good, and VanVleet probably can get around a little less, but go to a better team that can really give him a chance to start plus compete. And I think he'd rather do that than go to the Knicks and go to a terrible team that will be bad for another 1 to 2 years, depending on who they bring in as free agents. Another problem is they will have to bring in somebody if they want VanVleet too, because he will be one piece, like I said, but you will still have to find the other way to make this team improve outside of the draft. Because last year, pick RJ Barrett had a okay to bad season. Even if he does improve, he's not going to be at a superstar level until the future, probably another 2 years from now. And even then, you still add another piece, and this draft is weak on superstar talent, so it's not going to really help the Knicks this year either when it comes to contributing to winning now. Now they can flip some of their young talent in their picks to get another veteran, which we heard Oladipo, we heard Paul and these guys, which will be out there. It's going to be fringe all stars to star players available. The Knicks done picked them up throughout the last 30 years, and they haven't been able to get to that championship level again. But they do have enough if they do want to add a piece with Van Fleet. They have the cap space, they have the draft picks, they have the assets and the talent to be able to flip this team into something decent. Like I said, I can see the Knicks being a 30-win team if they play their cards right. Only problem is there's no big free agents right now outside of Anthony Davis, who nobody thinks going to the Knicks anyway, that they can really get and change this franchise this summer. Now, you can take a gamble on some guys that is rumored around and available, and they probably can push the team into a playoff team if they can get Van Fleet and some of their young players do develop, because we don't know yet until we see them play again. That could get them into a 40, probably like a Brooklyn Nets, um, Orlando situation where you're fighting for 37 to 41 wins, which might just be enough to make it to the playoffs, but you're still not at that championship contending level. So it's other things they can do. They got new management, they got new things going on with the Knicks. So it's going to be interesting to see how they what they do with their cap and who they really pursue, because the fans are getting impatient. They have been bad for so long. They have missed the playoffs for so long that Fred VanVleet, a guy that's not even at an all-star level, probably close, but not there just yet, he's a rumor, and he's a guy that people are getting talking and excited that possibly have. That's how the Knicks are right now. They're just looking for anybody that can help and get this team back on a winning track, which is going to be tough because winning and winning the title are two different levels. And being a playoff team but never getting to the point where you can actually win the title is something that the Knicks consistently been doing for the last 30 years. And it's hard. We done seen teams like the Rockets and other teams like the Clippers back in the day that they're there, but they never really get over that hump and win the title. And hopefully the Knicks don't make that mistake, which is trying to be so competitive now that they just become a 4 or 5 seed and get put out in the second round and never do anything. Then they go right back into a rebuilding era, which they in right now for another 5, 7 years. And then we're trying to talk it all back up and see if they can get back on track and try to become a title. This is what the Knicks fans want. I mean, you just seen Brooklyn get Kyrie and Kevin Durant. And you've seen LA get Anthony Davis and LeBron. You see teams like Miami get Jimmy Butler and Bam, and now they're in the finals. And you see the Clippers getting Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and everybody's saying, "What about the Knicks? This is the biggest, most expensive franchise right now, and they got an owner that's willing to spend the money. Why are they not getting nobody? Why are they not on that level to even get somebody? Like Chris Paul has been the biggest name for them, and I didn't really like that because if you get Chris Paul, who else you putting him with? Yeah, you would be competitive. Yeah, you'd be fun to watch. Yeah, people would be excited to watch that team, but that's still being a good, not an elite championship team, which is all about. You're not going to get Chris Paul just to be good for 3 to 4 years. You want to get Chris Paul to bring excitement that a championship might be coming, and they haven't been able to do that in the last 30 years, and that's why the fans are clamoring for somebody. But I'm telling the fans, be patient. Wait a little bit longer. I know Kevin Knox and these other guys not exciting you guys, and they're not bringing that energy that you wanted. But if you really want to build a championship team, if you're not getting a LeBron or Anthony Davis or Kevin Durant, and remember Chris Paul is in his mid 30s, not in his mid 20s like Van Fleet, you're going to have to wait your turn. And the Knicks have had their chances. They won titles before, but they have a lot of issues and a lot of things they have to sort out. And a lot of teams don't respect or look at the Knicks as a team that's where I want to go. Once they clear those things up and actually get a person that wants to be there, whether it's from the draft, whether it is from trade, then that'd be the stepping stone that they need. Van Fleet, great player, great complimentary player, not a superstar player, and you're going to have to pay him 16, 19 million, which ain't terrible, but you still got so much to still do to still get back to that championship level. It'd be a step in the right direction, but you will need to make more and more steps to get into that championship direction. And I just don't see the Knicks being able to do that this summer. And I don't see a pick right now that can change that in the future because they're not the number. They don't have the number one pick in the last two drafts, so that hurt it. Getting Zion or Ja Morant would have helped, and we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But it didn't. They got buried, and he didn't turn out as well as they did. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting to see what the Knicks do. They've been trying to rush it. They've been trying to cheat it. They've been trying to find ways to skip steps, and they continue to fall in the same mediocre or bad level. So if I'm a Knicks fan, I'm still holding out hope. It is going to be some guys available, but you're going to have to pay them, and they might not be a top five, top seven player, which means would you rather wait a 3 more years to be good, or would you rather rush it a little bit and be okay? That's the situation the Knicks are in. And every time I hear another name, that's what I think about them. So I gotta be honest with my fans, like I always try to do. Knicks fan, just wait a couple more years. I know y'all tired of hearing that. I know y'all tired of going through it, but don't cheat the process. Just enjoy it and support them, and hopefully they'll get it right in the future. But it's hard for them to accelerate that when they really don't have any available player right now that can do it. Now, if one of those players do come available, they have the assets and the young talent to be able to make that trade. But do that person want to sign an extension and come to New York? And if they do that, they still have to put the right pieces around that player to get to that championship level again, which they haven't been in over 30 years. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know the frustration. Let me know how y'all feel. I'm here for y'all. I'm listening and I'm watching, and that's why I made this video. I like VanVleet. I love his game. I think he would be a good fit here. But don't look at it. Let's rush it. Let's look at it like, we get VanVleet. We still not where we want to be. And if he's not where you want to be, you're not really getting anywhere anyway. And even if he does work out and you become an okay team, you'll be back rebuilding in the next 5 to 6 years if you don't get the other pieces around them. Let me know what you guys think. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com, link in the description comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com, link in the description comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Thanks for everybody that liked on Facebook already. Like the video, share as a small way to help this channel out. Check out my older videos. I have over 1,000, almost 2,000 videos already. So if you like breakdowns of players, legends, and rookies, and I also do cover Summer League and break those down too, check that out. Also, free agency, trade deadline, top 10 list, season previews, trade deadline, free agency, playoff predictions, everything that you love about basketball, I got you covered. You can buy merchandise on my Facebook page. I got shirts and stuff displayed, hats included. You can change the color of the logo of the hats in shirts and the color of the shirts and hats, the one you want. Message me and I can get it shipped out to you. But not only that, I also do have it on my spread shirt that will also be in the comment section in the description below. Thanks for the love. Thanks for support. Thanks for continuing to watch. And Quinn got y'all back. Knicks fans, y'all been suffering for some years, and there's no easy way out of it right now. And until y'all can get somebody that really wants to be in New York and really wants to be on that team, y'all going to have to be getting it through the draft. And even then, you got to put the pieces around. And the Knicks haven't shown they've been able to do that. So we have to wait and see. Hold in, be strong, and eventually y'all get it right. And we'll all be looking at, look, the Knicks are finally good again, and they finally back on that level. And then we'll see if they can capture that championship that they've been waiting for forever. It seemed like so many, and even when they was good in the 90s, they even won the title. So I feel for y'all. I feel for the Knicks fan. That's why I made this video, to get y'all a little happy, but to keep it real with y'all too. But I'm going.